Well, we have got two big stories we're monitoring as we come on the air this midday. A North Texan identified as one of the U.S. service members killed in an Iranian attack, and Governor Abbott in Kerrville to update response to the Hill Country flooding. Thank you for being with us this midday. I'm Kara Sewell alongside our meteorologist Colin Myers, and we are talking about not just the heat. We've also got this disturbance that you've been following in the Gulf this morning. So there's a lot to unpack here because we have a heat alert or a weather impact alert today because of the heat.
Because of the heat, and we'll get back to the heat. I know you guys don't want to hear about that. It's, yes, it is serious heat. We're used to it. We'll talk about it. The disturbance in the Gulf is a different story. So here's the heat advisory. We have a weather alert in place. Nothing we haven't seen before. In fact, we had a couple heat advisories earlier in the summer so far. The way the Weather Service does this is on the onset of a pretty hot period, they'll issue it. It is more subjective. I think it's up to each office and they have somewhat different opinions. But heat index value is up to 108. This is a good call. Obviously, a good idea to issue this. Now, we have a stretch coming up where the actual air temperature may look higher than today's, but the humidity will drop just a bit. Each day, I don't know about you, I can't tell the difference between what feels like 108 or 105. It's all hot. But take precautions today and just watch one another. Be careful. Take care of one another out there in this heat. And stay cool. Make sure you find a place to stay cool and hydrate. Depression 2, here's the latest. Now, this is why you have to watch each storm that occurs in the Gulf. I myself have lived through 2 of the 5 worst landfalling tropical cyclones down in Houston, okay? Anytime something pops up in the Gulf, there's a lot of uncertainty, certainly this far out. It looks like right now we're getting a better handle on Depression 2. We're just a step down from a tropical storm, so this will probably be named Bertha this afternoon or evening. Don't be surprised when that happens. Looks like wind gusts up to 45. Pressure has dropped slowly, but there's the center of circulation. So forecast spaghetti plots as you get closer to an event. You go from a widespread to a more confined center. And it looks like you're going to have a landfall somewhere in southern Louisiana. We certainly think that that's going to happen around midweek. And then most of the models bring whatever's left into the northwestern Gulf and bring it into southeast Texas, anywhere from Port A down to Matagorda or Brazosport or Rockport. So the main thing here is how much wind shear will it run into over the north central Gulf, and will it be mitigated by some of this dry air or running over land? There it is now, and I expect Bertha will be named today. As we zoom in, the center of circulation is kind of raggedy here. It's kind of jagged, and we have some breaks in here where dry air exists. That dry air helps us. It doesn't allow the center to form and become more organized. I'm going to leave you with the latest track. We'll talk about this coming up. It's going to run into wind shear, and that's going to be our friend as that moves to the west, okay? And if it can stay more over land, that helps keep the intensities and organization down. I expect that, though, sometime late week to make a landfall, potentially in Texas. We're still awaiting new data. We'll have more on that in a full forecast for North Texas coming up.
We'll be watching it closely with you. Thank you, Colin. Happening today, search and rescue efforts continue in the Texas Hill Country. Several crews from North Texas are headed down right now to help, and we're expecting an update from Governor Greg Abbott this midday. Janelle Ford joins me with where the cleanup stands right now.
Well, Kara, the scale of this flooding is hard to wrap your head around. Nearly 1 trillion gallons of rain fell across the 3 hardest hit counties in just 3 days, and state leaders say so far more than 570 people have been rescued. That includes 300 campers west of San Antonio after high water washed away the only road leading to their camp. And now we're getting a clear look at what the floodwaters left behind. This is inside Kerr County Courthouse, where water tore through parts of the building. County officials say the damage is so severe, some areas could remain closed for at least a year while repairs are being made. And today, help continues pouring in from across Texas. We were there this morning as volunteers with Texans on mission loaded up trucks and equipment before sending crews south.
Yeah, so we have folks converging across the state to set up sites in Bernie, Kerrville, and Uvalde. These teams include shower laundry units, they include feeding units, they include flood recovery units that go in, remove everything that's gotten wet, flooring, sheetrock, furniture, and then disinfect the home so it is ready to begin reconstruction.
And that's really where this response is shifting now. Search and rescue operations are still happening in some areas, but you're also seeing more organizations arrive with the supplies and manpower needed for what will likely be a long recovery. So again, Governor Abbott is expected to provide another update from Kerrville just before noon, and WFAA will stream that news conference live. I'll send it back to you, Kara.
Thank you, Janelle. And you can help families impacted by the flooding. Scan the QR code at the bottom of your screen to donate to the Community Foundation of the Texas Hill Country. Every donation, no matter the amount, will make a difference. We are learning new details about the North Texas soldier killed in the war with Iran. The Pentagon identified her as Private Isabella Gonzalez. She was 19 and from Carrollton, a 2025 graduate of the Hebron High School. Private Gonzalez is one of 3 U.S. service members killed in Iranian attacks over the weekend. And overnight, the U.S. attacked Iran for a 9th straight night. And Iran struck back. ABC's Christian Cordero has the latest.
As the fighting in the war escalates, many issues once on the table are now far from resolved, from the status of the Strait of Hormuz to the potential for a long-term nuclear deal. Today, the Pentagon officially announced the deaths of 2 U.S. service members killed in a wave of back-and-forth attacks in the Middle East over the weekend. Private Isabella Gonzalez of Carrollton, Texas, was just 19 years old. She and 25-year-old Lieutenant Tyler James Feehan of Ava Beach, Hawaii, were stationed at a U.S. base in Jordan when an Iranian airstrike hit.
We feel very badly, but you know, those great people, those great patriots are out there fighting that Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon.
According to U.S. Central Command, a 3rd service member was killed in Iraq during the controlled detonation of a downed Iranian drone. That person has not yet been identified. On the possibility of negotiations, a spokesperson for Iran's foreign ministry said in a press conference today he doesn't believe the U.S. is acting in good faith. Both sides have repeatedly threatened to escalate the war even further. The intensifying back-and-forth airstrikes are now reaching a 10th night across the region. Iran's ability to pierce through some missile defense systems is raising questions among military analysts after the administration claimed Iran's firepower had been decimated.
Potentially, the Iranians are changing their tactics. They could be using more advanced ballistic missiles, some that maneuver upon reentry, thus making it more difficult for Patriot to intercept them.
Ship traffic through the Strait of Hormuz, meanwhile, appears to be at a crawl. Maritime data firm Kepler shows the number of ships passing through the strait dropping to just 8 on Sunday, a dramatic change compared to the roughly 100 per day before the war began. As a result, gas prices are back up, now at $4 per gallon of regular in the U.S., according to AAA. That's 13 cents higher than 1 week ago. Christian Cordero, ABC News, Washington.
The United Kingdom has its 7th prime minister in a decade today. Andy Burnham succeeded Keir Starmer this morning after meeting with King Charles III. Starmer's own party forced his resignation after multiple missteps. Burnham was the overwhelming favorite to become the new head of the Labour Party, with 379 of the 403 Labour lawmakers backing him. One of the world's largest producers of salads and fresh vegetables is voluntarily recalling many of its iceberg lettuce products amid the growing cyclosporiasis outbreak. But now there's questions about one of the positive tests. The CDC estimates there are nearly 7,000 cases of the intestinal illness across several states. That includes us here in Texas. ABC's Rena Roy tells us more.
Taylor Farms pulling nearly 3 dozen of its iceberg lettuce products off store shelves in 27 states. The manufacturer voluntarily recalling those products amid the cyclosporiasis outbreak that health officials say has impacted nearly 7,000 Americans.
On average, Michigan sees maybe 40 cases over the course of a year. Now we've seen over 5,000 cases. We're seeing many more cases come across our ERs.
Federal health officials say more than 1,600 people got sick after eating shredded iceberg lettuce supplied by Taylor Farms to Taco Bell locations in 5 states: Michigan, Indiana, Ohio, Kentucky, and West Virginia. Taco Bell saying it removed all affected lettuce from its restaurants. The recall also includes market-side brand iceberg lettuce sold at Walmart with use-by dates between July 18th and August 3rd, plus bagged iceberg salads, shredded and chopped lettuce, and lettuce romaine blends sold to grocery stores and restaurants across the country. The FDA says it continues to test lettuce to identify any positive samples and is working with Taylor Farms to ensure any affected products are pulled from the market.
The recommendations right now are to use whole heads of lettuce as opposed to using bagged lettuce or pre-washed lettuce. Even when you have the whole heads of lettuce, removing the outer leaves and thoroughly washing the inner leaves in warm water.
The FDA and CDC are still investigating. They say if you have any recalled products, you should throw them away immediately. Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.